Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Um, I'm Cecil Martin.
I'm Celia Hines.
Tell us about yourself.
Okay, first of all, I'm a third year biology student at Northern Cameron University, right? When I leave here next year, I plan on doing a master's degree in microbiology, right? And I have been a vegetarian for almost 12 years now, right? And occasionally in the year, like for a few weeks, I am a vegan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with this diet, why is it that you wanted to do this diet? You know, it's a bit strange in our culture because we have, a culture that is based upon meat eating and all this. So why would you choose to do such a thing?
Okay, well, first of all, the vegetarian diet came about because my body have a negative reaction towards like meat, like chicken and all of those stuff, with the exception of certain type of fish. That's how the vegetarian diet came about, ever since I was in primary school. Well, the vegan diet, however, what I do occasionally, like probably like 6 weeks every year, is basically my way of trying to cleanse my body, give my body some time to cleanse.
A detox.
Yeah, like a detox. Perfect. Yeah.
So, could you compare for us your bowel movement, the size, the smell, the texture of your feces when you are a vegetarian compared to when you're a vegan?
Okay, alright. First of all, when I'm a vegetarian, right, I think I have less bowel movement than when I'm a vegan because I find that I go to the bathroom probably 2 times a day, the least, when I'm a vegan. Whereas as a vegetarian, it's usually like 1 time a day, and occasionally it's 2, right? And being a vegetarian, right, the feces, it's usually more like, it's not that clumped up together. It tends to break off sometimes in pieces, like you have different segments of it. And when I'm a vegan now, it's actually more combined together. It's like a smooth, like a long smooth thing that doesn't break off. No, it doesn't break off. Yeah, it's more clustered. And you don't really see that little segment in it that much, right? And it's softer, by the way. The texture is softer, right? Yeah. And the color as a vegan is mostly green. It's mostly like some different shade of green. And occasionally I find undigested plant material in it. Like if I have a diet of palaloo, sometimes I can actually pick out those part in it. As a vegetarian though, the color ranges from dark brown to a light yellow looking shade, right? Now, whereas smell is concerned, I find that the vegan diet carries like a high odor, but the odor is more like that of probably some rotten plants or something like that. It's similar to the scent of the cow feces, right? Now, when referring to the vegetarian feces, that odor is a bit low, but you can actually, I don't know if it's just me, but you can actually smell more like, you can have that dead scent in it that like when you'd have like probably like a dead dog on the road rotting or something similar to that, but not the same. So it's a lower scent, but it's kind of more offensive, you ask me. And I think I tried something once when I was in high school with my feces, because I told you I was actually considering using my feces as fertilizer at one point, but I was doing something, because I even used my urine to do some crazy stuff. And I realized that over a period of time, you actually get a fouler scent from the vegetarian feces than the vegan feces.
Wow.
Like it's fat, like the flies or whatever attack the vegetarian feces in a faster time than it would to the vegan, and the scent is like, so even though it starts off with a lower scent, over a period of time the scent becomes more like unpleasant than with the vegetarian one, the vegan one.
What in the diet of the vegetarian would you say is contributing to this?
To what, the bowel movement?
To the smell.
The smell. I'd say it's because it's like mostly plant material, like, because for me, when I'm a vegetarian, right? Yes. I eat cheese a lot. My diet consists of cheese a lot.
Pizza.
No, not just pizza, but like I had mac and cheese this morning, for example, with boiled egg for breakfast, alright? And the cheese combined with the egg and occasional eating fish such as snapper and parrot. I think that's the reason why you have that scent, because even though it might not be from all of those other complex animals, like for example, I'm not eating chicken and all that, but it still carries some similarities in texture and makeup. So I guess that's why it probably has that faux scent. Because it's just like if you would have a piece of steel chicken, you get very bad odor from it. So I guess it's just the fact that it's flesh, decomposed flesh, right? Whereas the vegan one, I guess, I mean, to be honest, spoiled plants, odors are not as offensive as spoiled animal. I think it's because there's no blood vessel and all those things going through them, and so it smells better.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So there's an issue going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's an issue about reusing human feces for fertilizer.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we have this issue going on in Jamaica for quite some time. Where back in the day when they had pit latrines, they would have, after they're finished with one hole and it's full, they would close it and move the pit latrine to a different location.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of the old hole, they would plant a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some people in Jamaica would be happy for that tree because that tree bears more than normal and the size of the fruits would be exponentially bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so people would be happy for that. But other people, because of, you know, they're saying, you know, you're going to eat from where somebody
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, passed his feces, it's unethical.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to get across is that yes, there are parasites and all these things,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have a vegan diet,
Mm-hmm.
it would, you know, eliminate all these hookworms and
Mm-hmm.
all of these things because your body chemistry would have changed, and not only that, you wouldn't have been taking in the meat that has these parasites.
Yeah.
So maybe it is that your feces would be better. For example, the difference between a cat's feces or a dog's feces versus a cow's feces. We use cow feces with no problem because, you know, they only eat grass, or at least that's what traditionally they only use to eat. So with that in mind, would you say that, what is your opinion on the whole reusing human feces, in particular vegan feces?
Well, alright, first of all, it is a good idea, right? It is a good idea, but at the same time, I have to look at the fact that people will not feel comfortable knowing that the feces that they're using for their manure on their plant to eat is coming from somebody else that they don't even know, right? So it's a good idea if people actually are going to use it for subsistence farming, or if they're willing to inform others of it, because some people will actually buy it, right? Whereas others will strike out against it because they feel that it's unethical and it probably will cause some kind of illness to, you know, be passed on to them, right? Because they don't know the person. And that's the case that you don't know the person. It will be an anonymous situation, right? So I think it's good if it's going to be practiced in a way where people will actually know of it, or if it's for some sort of subsistence farming and not really commercial, right? So I think it can be good, a good thing. Especially in a place where there's not a readily access of cow feces or goat or even bat feces, right? I think it can be a good thing, right? And it can also turn out to be something that will save a lot of money.
Right.
In some businesses, it might just be something to save a lot of money.
Right. And then the issue of organic farming versus this new GMO products and all the rest, there's better ways to get bigger fruits.
That's true.
Right? And, you know...
And another thing I want to add to that, I think one of the reasons why people are so skeptical about it is because they think that, like, it's just the raw feces that the plant is going to use. But what you need to understand is actually the decomposed version of it. The plant is actually going to absorb all the nutrients from, and not necessarily the raw thing. That's why when the plant actually bear fruit, you don't have that fall odor on the plant. So it's not necessarily the raw feces with all the odor and all of that. It's actually the decomposed version.
Good point.
And when it's actually decomposed, there's no odor to it.
Right.
It looks just like the dirt.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. All right, well, I thank you for your time and for
Okay.
your expertise. See you next time.
Okay, thank you.